If you're tired of losing the same exact one-play touchdowns and glitch plays every single game in Madden 26, you just clicked on the perfect video. Today, I'm breaking down the exact formula for playing lockdown defense with 5 elite tips. You're absolutely not going to miss out on anything I break down today, or it could be the reason your defense is still trash, and I wouldn't want that to happen to you, so let's jump right into it. The first thing I want to break down are the best defensive coaching adjustments you need to be using to actually get stops here in Madden 26. Let me show you. Alright, so we're going to come into our options, we're going to come into settings, alright, and you're going to come into game options and scroll down until you find gameplay helpers, alright. This is going to be where you find defensive heat seeker assist, alright. The reason why this is so valuable, it's going to help you make dive tackles in the backfield on ball carriers, preventing them from tackle battling you and speed boosting away from you. Also, having defensive heat seeker window size on 100% is going to help you out a lot, because as you're going to see right here, this is exactly where heat seeker is so valuable. All right, so we're going to have them call a run play, and I'm going to stand really in the spot to automatically kind of shoot the gap here. And what you're just going to notice is that we're able to do exactly that. You want to also make sure that you're dive tackling the ball carrier in the backfield and not getting into a conservative tackle. So again, they're going to go to an inside run, you're going to stand inside the butt of your defensive tackle, and now you're going to come in free and you're pressing X on Xbox or square on PlayStation to dive tackle the ball carrier immediately, preventing him from being able to speed boost away from you and turn that into just easy yards. As we know, the speed boost, one of the best, ball carrier moves here in the game. I mean, I don't think that James Conner can really do the move that well, but it's like, he kind of actually did get a boost. So if that safety doesn't come down, that could potentially be a big run. So this isn't just in the run game. This can also help you in the passing game, tackling just in general. Being able to dive tackle as good as possible is going to be really, really helpful for you on defense. So you see it again right here. I come in free and I try to dive tackle. That time I just missed. But actually getting the tackle correct, having heat seeker assist is going to help you do that. So again, having heat seeker assist turned on, windows set to 100% or higher, that's really the first setting. But let me break down another one that's really important. And those are going to be your alignment settings, all right? You want to make sure that auto flip defensive play call is turned on. You want to make sure that cornerback matchups are not on by overall, by speed, by height, nothing. It's just on balance. And then defensive motion response actually being turned on to disabled, all right? The reason for this is so that your defense doesn't basically just crisscross and hallucinate and just suck, all right? Because the reality is if you have your cornerback matchups on by speed, your guys are going to try to realign based on that, so by speed. And so if their fastest receivers are across the field from your fastest DBs, this is going to happen where now you don't have deep zones on that side. So they're just going to be able to throw slot fades on you all game just for easy yards down the field. You cannot afford to let that happen. So that's where really cornerback matchups being on to balance, nothing else, is really going to help you out. Also making sure that you have, again, defensive motion response disabled, because again, you don't want for them to be able to motion Marvin Harrison, right? And then if you're in zone coverage, this will happen to you all the time, right? It literally will. If you don't have defensive motion response disabled, this guy follows, but now there's no outside third on that side. So again, the slot fade just becomes an easy pass down the field for an easy touchdown, simply because your defender, he's not going to realign. He's going to realign, but his zone's not going to change. So he's going to be having to play zone coverage from across the field. And then making sure, again, auto flip defensive plays turned on so that your slot corner comes out on the same side as the slot receiver. But if you don't get alignment correct on defense, your defense is clueless. There's guys running wide open all over the field. So making sure heat seeker assist is turned on so you can dive tackle the ball carrier in the backfield for tackles, and make sure you have those first 3 alignment settings correct so you're not getting beat anywhere in the field. Alright, so I just broke down the best coaching adjustments to use, but another question everyone has is, BLT, what are the best zone drop settings to use? Let me break that down for you. Alright, so like I just said, people ask me this all the time, what are the best zone drops? And my answer is always, it depends on the situation. But you're going to ask, what are those situations? So let me show you. The first one is when you're trying to defend corner routes, alright? So what you want to do is put your flats, your zone drop flats, they're blue zones on 25 yards. Because as you can see now, on both sides, your flat zones are now going to be dropping back to 25 yards. So if we take this snap and we go to throw this corner out to Rondale Moore, not only is the safety there, but then also the outside corner who we put in that 25-yard zone is going to break on that. And probably what you're yelling at your screen right now is, BLT, that's bad defense. So the flat's wide open. And yes, it is, because if they hike throwing out route, this is just an easy completion on the sideline, bad pursuit angle, turn that into a 15-yard gain. So it's like, yes, being able to stop corner routes and deeper, it's not just corners, it's crossers, deep posts, anything. Having 25-yard flats is going to do a great job of stopping that. But if we come back into our zone drops, this is the other critical adjustment. Putting your zone drop curl flats on 5 yards, because now you're going to be able to create what we call the double Mabel coverage, because we're going to have them call the same exact play. We're going to call the same defense, but now what we're going to do, like they're going to have street corner flat, probably what's beating you all game. What we're going to do is put our slot corner now in the curl flat, who we have set to 5 yards in our zone drops. So now we're going to have a man dropping to 5 yards to defend James Conner. We're going to have a deep safety to defend Marvin Harrison Jr. And we're going to have a 25-yard flat to be able to stop number 4. All right, so we're going to take this snap, and so now he's still going to be dropping there, knock that pass away, but we now have a man underneath to stop out routes, to stop table routes, to stop drag routes, really anything. So yes, that's really a great use case for actually being able to stop, really corner routes, is having those 25-yard flats, utilizing the double Mabel coverage. But also, and I kind of just hinted at this, what about, this is another situation, what about when you want to just stop checkdowns, right? Let's just say they're just spamming underneath passes on you. Well, what you could do is you're going to reset your flats, so you're going to put them on default. You can still call a cover 3 defense, and here's the reality. You still have your curl flats on 5, so a lot of the time, if they call like an out route, for example, in the tight end, you still have a man dropping to that spot to intercept the pass. So it's not like, you could really just leave your curl flats on 5, call cover 3 or cover 4, and you're going to be good to go. But also, if you want to, you can just shade your covers down, so press Y and then right stick down to shade underneath, just like this. And so now when they go to throw these out routes, these underneath passes, your guys are basically making beelines to that area to knock the pass away, versus I feel like a curl flat will backpedal a little bit, like slightly, whereas a hard flat will just come down. Even when the curl flat's set to 5, it's just the programming. Like a hard flat will actually come down. It's always on the default. A default hard flat will come down and really do a great job of making a beeline out there. You can also adjust your hook zones. So if you want, your hooks to play at 5 yards, maybe to defend a return route, right? So we put Marvin Harrison on return. We have our hook shaded down. Now Harrison Smith is going to come down and do a great job of just playing in that window, making the tackle or knocking the pass away. So zone drops, like I said to start, depend on the situation, but those are 2 pretty good use cases for them, using 25-yard flats, 5-yard curl flats from a cover 2 to defend corner routes, or just putting your curl flats on 5 from a cover 3 or cover 4 defense to be able to slow down these out routes, flat routes, and table routes. Alright, so if you found these defensive tips helpful so far in this video, make sure you go down below and hit that subscribe button. I break down Madden 26 tips and tricks just like this to help you guys get better every single day, and you don't want to miss out on any of the content that I have. But if you want my full Vikings defensive ebook, which goes through the best defense in the game, blitzes, coverages, red zone defense, everything you're going to need to lock down, go to the link down below in the pinned comment to grab it today by using code YouTube to get 20% off. Goes through videos, screenshots, write-ups, everything you're going to need, like I said, to lock down from that Vikings playbook. I highly recommend you check it out. Everyone that's bought it, it's really helped them out, so I know the same thing will happen for you. But let's jump right back into the video. Because next I want to show you a pro defensive trick that's going to allow you to get instant sacks on the quarterback. Yeah, it really is. Let me show you. Alright, so you can actually do this from a lot of different defenses in this game, but what we're talking about here is going to be the user lock or turbo engage feature. Now, I most like to do this out of nickel load mug. We're going to call any play here. We're going to shift our defensive line to the left. We're going to pass commit our defense, and we're going to call the left pirate 3-man custom stunt. Alright, really what this is going to allow us to do is get over top of this center and user lock him, all right? So we're calling a custom stunt here. Obviously, custom stunts really, really effective. But really what makes this so good is you notice how if I just call this play, when they take the snap, you see how it's like, it kind of works. Like the stunt's pretty good already, like by itself, even without you doing anything. Just calling the stunt's gonna help you. But really, it was 3-on-3 on this side. So we look at the replay, they have 3 linemen, we have 3 rushers, so they pick it up. Now, eventually, a guy sheds, right, disengage, but that's great. But what we want to do is press, so shift our D-line left, press RB, right stick up to pass commit, and then you're going to user lock. So there's 2 ways to user lock in this game. Either you're going to press D-pad left, then press RB, then hold right trigger and left stick down at the same time, or you can just press D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down at the same time. right? So it's one less button press the second way. So that's what I would recommend you do. That's what I'm going to tell you to do. So D-pad up, and then you're holding right trigger and left stick down. And so this is going to force you to run into the center. So now I get the attention of the center, and that's what allows for us to have a 3-on-2 advantage, or in that case, it's 3-on-2 advantage, but in other situations, it might be a 4-on-3 advantage, whatever it is, but you're going to be creating an advantage over here because you see how I get the attention of the center. So now we have 3 guys on the side that they have 2 rushers, and so this guy just comes in literally untouched, like 70 just never touches him, and so it's an easy sack. So that's what you're going to need to start doing, whether, again, this is from nickel through 3 load mug, calling from the Vikings defense, calling the left pirate 3-man custom stunt, but you can do this from like Cub, you can do this from nickel through 3 odd, a lot of different defenses, 4-3, even 6-1's a good one, but again, you're going to stand over the left shoulder of the center because you don't want the guard to block you, because again, if the center can get over there, he's gonna help his team, right? You see how I get the attention of the center right here, and so now it's 3-on-3, and so he has way more time to throw. So that's why it's really important to get the timing down, to stand in the right spot, to really make sure that you're actually able to get the attention of the center and not anyone else. So again, D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down, boom, take the snap again, get the attention of the center, and that's what allows for us to get that 3-on-2 advantage and go get that really quick pressure. So very simple. They can block. I mean, they could really block their running back too. Now, understand if they block their running back, it's like now it's 3-on-3. Like after you get the attention center, they'll still have it'll be even, but then we know that running backs are just going to get destroyed at the point of attack. So again, boom, right here, get his attention. James Conner slides over, and he just gets absolutely ran through. And again, the key is spamming the A button to get off the block as quickly as possible, really just so that you can get back into coverage with your user and do a good job of taking away these routes as they kind of run over the middle of the field. So spam A to get off the block, D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down to turbo engage with the offensive line, and you're going to be user locking and creating those really insane and unfair advantages to get instant sacks. All right, before I jump into those final 2 tips that you're absolutely not going to want to miss here in Madden 26, make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button. I break down Madden 26 tips and tricks to help you guys get better every single day, and you don't want to miss out on any of the content that I have. But let's jump into those final 2 tips, because that next one is going to be a way to literally tell your zones exactly where to play. This is one of the most underused defensive features in the game this year, and you need to start mastering it. Let me show you. Alright, so we're going to call any play here. You can do this from any zone coverage play as long as you have zones in the field. But what we're talking about is custom zones. Again, you're literally telling your zones where to play, okay? So this is a great example, and one that we kind of talked about earlier in the video, actually, right? So they have street corner flat called. So when they take the snap, right, you're just going to see how that corner route to number 4 is going to be wide open on the sideline. So what you would do is you could move your zone drops back to 25 yards, and then you would have 25-yard flats on both sides. The problem that could create, though, is I'm just going to simulate it by zone stemming my guys up, right, which is the one I'm about to show you how to do, right? So this is what your coverage would look like. But the problem is they're not going to call a corner route on the right side. So all they're probably going to do is just put an out route, give themselves a check down, and now you have a guy dropping back to 25 yards on that side, but you have no control. This was one of the most frustrating things about zone drops in Madden's before this one, when they added this feature. So again, what you're going to do is you could set your zone drop to 25 yards, or you could just zone stem this specific zone up. Right, so now I have my guy on the right side sitting at 10 yards, but my guy on the left side is actually dropping back to 25 yards to defend the corner route. Right, so again, boom, where we can set up the same defense where we're going to make sure that we have a double or a Mabel coverage set up on the left side, but we still have our man sitting at 10 yards on the right side to be able to defend like an out route or whatever they might have. So you're able to see how that wide receiver is completely guarded, but then our flat on the right side is actually doing a great job of defending the flat because he doesn't have to get back there. Like the zone drop isn't locked into him. So how you're going to do this is you're going to press Y twice, or really you can do this for linebackers or defensive linemen. So it's just whatever position group you're trying to adjust. That's why quick adjustments are really important to know. But you're going to press Y twice here in this case, then I'm going to press X, and then I'm going to press LB, and you're zone stemming up or down with the left stick. So you're holding LB. You have to keep holding LB in order to stem your zone. As soon as you let go, it resets. So I'm going to stem it up maybe 4 times, like right about there. And so now, you can't see it as you're stemming it up for some reason. I hope that gets fixed next year. But you do it 4 times, you know that's about where he's going to be. And so now, again, he's going to drop back to 25 yards to defend the corner out. And I could even, if I wanted to take it a step further, stem this zone down 1 so that he's literally sitting at 5 yards, right? So boom. Now, again, he's sitting at the line of scrimmage, and so he's just going to, well, I guess I stemmed him too far down, right? Maybe I should have just left him where he was. But it's like you have full control now of exactly where he needs to be. So corner out, easy right now. I mean, he kind of left because I threw the ball. But as he was running his route, he's sitting at 25 yards, dropping there. So you can do this with hook zones too. Right, so I can press Y twice, then press Y again, LB, zone stem my hook crow down 1. Right, so that now he's sitting at maybe, the line of scrimmage to maybe take away just a quick pass to Marvin Harrison. Boom. Now he's sitting right there to knock that pass away. Whereas you would have to set your zone drops to 5 yards, and then it would basically mess up all the hook zones. Right, so again, I could stem this hook up, boom, on the right, and then I could stem this hook down 1. So now you have 2 different, this is the same zone, but they're playing at 2 different depths simply because you're using custom zones. So again, boom. I mean, you could also do it on safeties as well, right? I wouldn't really recommend that. But you see how we have 2 different blue zones playing at 2 different depths, the same zone playing at 2 different depths, and we have the same yellow zone playing at 2 different depths. So really, that's the advantage and the use case for custom zones. Again, open the position group, so Y twice for the secondary, D-pad right for the linebackers, D-pad left twice for the defensive line. Click onto your man and then use the left bumper and the left stick to zone stem the guy exactly where he really needs to be. But again, one of the most underutilized defensive features because you can literally tell your zones where to play on the fly when you're adjusting at the line of scrimmage. And that last defensive tip that you're absolutely not going to want to miss here in Madden 26 is actually how to disguise your defense. It's actually, again, one of the most useful defensive techniques that you can use, and it's underutilized as well. Let me show you. Alright, so how we're going to do this in particular, and this is called coverage shells, is we are going to click into a play formation, right? So you can't do it from this menu. You actually have to click into the formation, and then you see this shell, right? And then I'm flicking the right stick, right? That's where it is, right? So you're just going to flick the right stick, right or left, to change your coverage shells, right? Now, different formations have different coverage shells, but most formations are going to have cover 0, cover 1, cover 2 man, cover 3, cover 4, like a whole bunch of them. So really, I'm going to walk through. I mean, you can get in the lab for yourself and really find the ones that you really like, but I'm just going to go through some of the ones that I think are the best, all right? So really what that is if we call a cover 2 and disguise it as a cover 3, all right? So we're going to come into our cover 2. We're going to have a cover 3 shell because now we have a single high safety. And what do we know about this? Well, now they're probably less likely to just try to call post routes because they think they're in cover 3, or they think we're in cover 3, and so they're not going to call post. Probably now, since they think it's cover 3, they're probably going to go to like street corner flat, right? Because that's really good against cover 3. But again, this is where custom zones become really valuable, or zone drops, because now I could just have my guy playing at 25 yards to just trick them into calling that play. So really, again, what you could do is disguise your cover 2 as a cover 3, trick them into thinking it's cover 3. Now they're going to call a cover 3 beater, street corner flat, although this could technically be cover 2 as well, but it's better against cover 3. So now they're going to take the snap, and now you're going to be in perfect position to lock down their corner out, their flat, and their streak, simply because you did a good job of disguising your defense. And really, as long as this safety can get back here and play this deep path, right, like this slot fade isn't really going to be much of an issue for us either, right? So it's like, you still have to switch stick, have a good user, depending on what the route concept that they call, but really being able to disguise your defense, they don't really know what you're in. And the reality is, once you start disguising your defense a whole bunch, they start to get like, they're not as confident when they're reading the defense. So really, that's the first great use case that I found for this all year, right? Disguising your cover 2 as a cover 3 defense, and then probably utilizing custom zones or zone drops to make sure you're defending certain areas a little bit better. But the second way, and this is probably my favorite, is actually disguising your cover 2 as a cover 0. All right, and the reason why this helps is on 4th and short. Right, this is about the only time that I would use this is on a 4th and short situation. The reason why is because if we look at the play art on offense, the look that we have on defense, this looks like cover 0. Obviously, that's why we disguise it. The safeties are within 10 yards. The corners are lined up right over the top of our receivers. This just looks like outside shade man coverage. And so what's going to start to happen for you is they're going to call man-beating plays, right? Honestly, like, let's see, we could call something like this, boom, and then maybe we have, like, this isn't a bad man-beating play on 4th down, right? You have all 4 routes can beat man, but against zone, this isn't a good play. And so now we can pretty much just call like cover 2 hard flat, really, and have a good user over the middle of the field, and now no one's open, and we get that quick pressure. And again, the reason why this works is it's 4th and short. The game's on the line, right? I mean, you don't ever want to turn the ball over on downs, and so they're going to start to make panic reads. But we have hard flats on the field to defend the underneath, right? We have to defend their drag. We have a deep half to defend their corner out, so we're not worried about this. And then we also have, our in route being guarded by our users. That's why having a good user defender is still going to be really important. So really, again, I only really use that on 4th and short. Save it for those type of situations because you want to be able to come up and have hard flats on the field when you actually disguise your defense and kind of trick them into calling a man-beating play. So again, I mean, this is my example, but it could be any man-beating route because they're less likely to put like a shriek, right? If they put a shriek on this is a much better play to beat zone coverage, right? This just making a couple simple adjustments, but they might not think like that. They might just call straight man-beating plays, and so now you actually have good defense on the field because you disguise your defense really well, trick them into thinking you're running man. They panic as soon as they snap the ball because they see zone, and then no one's open, and we just have a good job of using across the field. So really, those are 2 pretty good use cases for coverage shells. Again, you can get in practice mode, find some other ones that you really like, but disguising your defense, allowing them to read the defense very easily, is going to help you out a lot. Alright, so if you found any of those 5 defensive tips helpful here in Madden 26, again, make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button. I break down Madden 26 tips and tricks to help you guys get better every single day, and you don't want to miss out on any of the content that I have. But again, if you want my full Vikings defensive ebook, which goes through the best blitzes, coverages, red zone defense, everything you're going to need to lock down on defense, go to the link down below in the pinned comment. You can grab it today by using code YouTube to get 20% off. Goes through the full videos, screenshots, write-ups to guide you through everything you're going to need to lock down on defense. But again, if you want to see 5 tips to transform your offense specifically here in Madden 26, check out this video right here. I'll see you over there. Peace.